Hi guys, it's Melissa. In this video, I'm going to show you how to print directly onto your shirts with an Epson F1070. So this is a purpose-built desktop DTF and DTG direct-to-garment printer that you can use at home or a small shop. It is not going to mass produce, but it will give you really good high quality DTF and DTG prints. So if you're a beginner, let me show you exactly how this is going to go. It is actually so fast. I mean, you are in the software for like 2 minutes and then you are printing. Okay, so we are going to start in Garment Creator 2, and what we need to do is make sure that we are on the T-shirt tab. So that is for when you are printing direct to garment. So you're going to have a couple of options up here, and it's going to depend on what your design looks like and what color your shirt is. So let's first import our file. So I am just going to find my file, which I have right here, and you can use different file types. I prefer the PNG because it usually doesn't have a background, so I'm just going to drag and drop that in here. And it will come in sized. If it's oversized, like sometimes it'll come in like this, then what I do is just grab it and then pull the corner so I can see it, okay? Now, depending on what size you want it, you have these dimensions up here, or this little ruler up here and along the side. You also have the ability to look at the grid here. So each of these is 1 inch, okay? So I also know that this Platen is 10 by 12, so basically my design is probably about 9 inches. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that even though my design is set up like this, when I'm standing in front of my printer, the neck is going to be on this side, okay? So the design will actually essentially be rotated and start printing from down here. So just keep that in mind and make sure that you have everything positioned correctly. Okay, so this design, as you can see, is going to go on a black shirt, and it does not have any black in it. So if my design had black in it, I might want to use the black color t-shirt option because it uses garment black. So instead of printing black, it would use the garments black or the shirts black to fill in those black sections, but we don't have it. So I'm actually just going to change it to be dark colored t-shirt standard, which in a case like this, they honestly would come out the same, but this is what I'm going to use today. Okay, now, if you haven't already, when you are doing direct to garment, you do need to pre-treat your shirts or have pre-treated shirts. I think it's easiest, especially if you're new to direct to garment, to just use shirts that are pre-treated, and I will link to them in the description below. Okay, so the shirt that I have was already pre-treated. I like it because then it basically takes the guesswork out of it. Was it pre-treated evenly? Is there enough on there? Is there too much? Is it dry? Blah, blah, blah. So if you get them already pre-treated, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, and then I'm just going to start by using the default settings. Now, I will tell you that if you haven't done a density test chart yet, I would recommend that you use one of your t-shirts to do that, to just make sure that the colors are where you want. I have a separate video on how to read the color density chart and make adjustments if you need to, but this print profile is pretty good, okay? All right, so layout settings, there's nothing really that I need here in this case because I only have one Platen. I don't have these other Platens right now. They're not in my machine, so I don't need to worry about that. And you can either do top center, it's just going to center it straight at the top. So again, it would print right down here, or where we had centered, or like I said, you can just manually move it yourself. Okay. All right. When you are ready, you are going to click print, and this little box is going to pop up, and then this one, and then you will have to move over to the printer itself to actually press start on the touch screen. But let's first talk about how we are going to load the shirt, okay? So when you are using a pre-treated shirt, or when you're doing direct to garment, I should say, you pull this little extension out, and there's 2 flaps on the side. You're going to load the shirt from the bottom onto this. So the neckline is actually going to be on that little blue hanger there, okay? And the horizontal line that's there, or the vertical line that's there, is actually the center. So line up the tag there, and then the shoulder seams can be right on the blue. Now, the machine does have these grids that's supposed to be for the sleeves on the left and right side. To be honest, I don't find them very helpful at all, but you're welcome to use them. I guess it's a nice feature. I just don't find it very helpful. Now, you can use the rack here, which is what I'm doing, to kind of tighten the shirt, or you don't have to use the rack or the frame, you can use the grip pad on your Platen instead. Again, totally up to you. Pull out any wrinkles that you may have. I would warn against, specifically with pre-treated shirts, I would warn against using a heat press to get the wrinkles out, because I think that does something to the pre-treat itself, to be honest with you. It makes it not as effective. Okay, so when you are ready, you will hit start on the touch screen on the top of the F1070. Now, I will tell you, if you haven't already used your printer today, what it's going to do is it's going to tell you that you need to shake the inks, and it's probably going to go through a maintenance cycle. Once it does that, then it will begin printing. So it's going to start printing, as I said, from the nearest edge where you're standing, and it's going to print the white first. So for direct to garment, it puts a layer of white down first. This is the base layer, and that's how you get those bright, bold colors on black shirts, because really it's not on a black shirt. The colors are on a white base, and that's what this white is. So I'm gonna let this print here in real time just for a minute so you can kind of get an idea. But once the white is done printing, then it is going to go completely, start from the top again, the nearest side to you, and it will go through and it will print the color on top. Now, I will tell you, this is not the fastest DTF or DTG printer. However, for a desktop DTF, DTG printer that is Epson, that is purpose built this way, that is high quality results, really easy maintenance at the price point that this is, I will deal with a slightly slower printing speed. You can increase the printing speed, but the quality of your prints, you risk going down. All right, so I picked this design specifically. It is from Sofanti, but I like that it has a bunch of different colors in it, shades of all like basically red, yellow, and blue, so that you can see. I like that we're doing this on a black shirt. This is a great design and a great project for a first DTG, because you're gonna see. Now, when the printing is done, you need to be really careful because the ink is still wet. So you need to carefully remove the frame and then slide the shirt off of the Platen, and then you need to cure it on a heat press. So you'll put it on a heat press at about 350, 355 degrees for 90 seconds, okay? And you do want to cover it carefully with a piece of butcher paper and then press. Medium pressure is probably good, and that will cure the ink for you, and that will keep that will make it so that it's completely dry, all right? And then you have your completely custom shirt. Now, again, you're doing one-offs here. If you're doing something in bulk or batch, I wouldn't, it's gonna take you a while to do that, because you can see in real time what's going on here, or you saw, I should say, how the printing was. But you get really, really, really good results with this. And if you're looking for more information on the F1070 DTF and DTG printer, including what comes in the box, how to set it up, how to use Garment Creator, how to do DTF transfers with it, I have videos on all of that as well. Everything can be found in the description below.